I'd like to call the Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Melissa Mischke, lead the way, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Approval of minutes, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. Public comment, I do not have public comment, nothing on social media. Clerk Treasurer, claims approval.
We have civil city payroll from March 28th in the amount of $548. I'm sorry, I gotta wake up today. $548,141.31.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Quarterly payroll, that's merit pay, $1,926.88. That was for the first quarter.
I move we approve the quarterly payroll, including the merit pay.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
We've got civil city claims in the amount of $1,402,613.85.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Water claims in the amount of $416,303.44.
I move we approve the water claims.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Sewage claims in the amount of $656,032.09.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second, discussion, sorry, couldn't hear you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
I'm going to ask the board to table the Cornerstone contract and conflict of interest, but I do have an agenda item I would like to add, please.
Please.
We have a quote for the Civic. The quotes went to Park Board. The payment is an immediate pay, so I'm asking for board approval to pay this plumber, Tavris Evans, in the amount of $2,850 for work done at the Civic Auditorium.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the payment.
Thank you.
Second, discussion.
Just, so that went through the park board.
Yes.
Was approved, so.
The payment
for
will
us,
have
it's
to
just
wait to go to Park Board. He's due the payment. He asked Gregory Peach for immediate payment. He can't take a credit card payment, and so we're asking the board. The park claims come to the Board of, they're on the Board of Works docket anyway, but this won't make the actual Park Board until the Park Board meeting, the third Wednesday of the month. So the payment will be at the Board of Works earlier than the Park Board, then Gregory can retroactively ask for Park Board of approval for the payment.
And all the work's been done, right?
All the
So,
work's
yeah.
been done,
Okay.
yes.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Department head reports, please be brief and to the point. Jess Boljaric from Communications.
Good morning. Just wanted to let you know the spring edition of Travel Indiana magazine is out. Not only did we have our editorial in there that we submitted along with the co-op with some local businesses, but we also got a mention in their editorial and they used our photo for their cover story. So pretty exciting stuff. We had like 6 mentions in the entire edition. So that magazine just continues to be a great partnership. I mean, it goes not only statewide, but it goes into some travel centers like outside of the state lines. So I'm not really sure what their readership is, but it's in the tens of thousands. So just great to continue to get LaPorte out there.
Jess, is that available anywhere in town, like outside? I know that the travel centers have them, but.
Yeah, so we get a shipment for each edition. I've asked for extra for this spring, just because they go so fast. And I know there's several people who would like to get their hands on one for this edition. So I've requested an extra box. I think when they drop them off, we're only getting like maybe 20 and they go super fast, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any news on the USA Today voting? I know I
That
was
comes
following, we were
out
like
tomorrow.
1, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then of course they stopped showing
Yeah.
where it was at for the last 10 days or something, but
Yeah. that gets released tomorrow, so fingers
okay.
crossed.
And then you'll have another release on LaPorte being recognized with Michigan City
Which,
as
oh,
one of the
yeah,
top
yeah.
10
So,
most affordable areas.
yep, and what was the name of that publication? I can't remember. Do you remember the name of it? No? You don't? Okay.
I do, and I've read it for years. and
The
it's
Bottom Line.
The bottom line.
The Bottom
I'm sure
Line,
Mr.
yeah.
Kosher
We
is aware of the bottom line.
Yeah, so that was
That newsletter.
pointed out to us by Drum Osborne. I was over there talking to him about something else, and he showed that copy to me and made a copy for us. But I mean, that's a national publication, and they outlined Michigan City and LaPorte, our area as a whole, as being like the top 10 most affordable places to live. So
In the nation.
really cool, really cool.
I have to renew my subscription to that.
Yeah, but we're making headlines everywhere, so that's great.
Thank you.
Thank
Mike Frey, Streets.
Morning. And we're out cutting, we'll be cutting trees this week, 1 day a week. And then we're patching, sweeping, and we're fixing cuts on Second, Tally, and Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Mark Schreiber, Parks.
Morning.
Morning.
Just a couple events. First of all, for anybody who might have missed it yesterday, we did announce our Saturday headliner for Lake Fest on Saturday, July 26th. We'll have Jesse McCartney here, international pop star. Very excited for that concert. It is a free concert, but we do have premium front stage passes available. They'll go on sale 10 a.m. Friday at laportelakefest.com. We'll also have a limited number of premium parking passes as well, so we encourage people to take advantage of that, but really excited to have a great night out there. We already have one of our openers, Y2K, booked. We have fireworks, and then Jesse McCartney, so it's going to be a great night. And then we have our Earth Day 5K coming up in a couple weeks, Saturday, April 26th, 9 a.m. At the amphitheaters where it takes off and ends. And then I do have a request later for a closure, but just want to remind everybody that's very family friendly. It's a run walk in support of the Park Foundation. A lot of family activities going on besides just the run and the walk. So check it out at either on the foundation page or on our website.
And Tim Warner was mentioning to me how excited he is for Jesse McCartney to hit. And
He has a
and,
poster in his office, I think, of Jesse.
he
and
and those ladies that
downloaded
are-
all of his music, and yeah.
the ladies that are 30 and younger seem to have a special warmth in their heart for him.
Seems to be, I mean, it was an incredible response on the Lake Fest Facebook page. I think we have over almost 500 shares and a ton of comments and likes and loves. But I did notice pretty much a female tone in the response, yes. Not a whole lot of male response, but there will be, there will be men, and we'll make sure that we have extra porta pots this year. So.
You don't have to hide those issues of Teen Beat anymore.
Craig
You can
Phillips,
Put them out now.
plan. Nick Minnick, engineering. Tim Warner, water.
Good morning, and thank you. I just wanted to let the public know that we will be finishing up our spring flushing, hopefully this week. We went ahead and gathered all the fire flows in the area. We did find 3 hydrants that were not in very good working order, so it's better that we find those in the fire department when they pull up to a working structure fire. So we will be addressing those. They were older hydrants anyways, and raising stem hydrants just finally broke. Other than that, we're gearing up for construction season. We have several NOIs in the item. Those are notice of intent to construct new main, do some more dead-end tie-in. Of course, the Severs Road project and Hunter's Woods and all that. So we got a pretty busy construction season coming up for the water department.
Jerry Jackson, wastewater.
We get our qualifications from contractors for our Headworks project this Friday. Looking forward to that. We'll have a recommendation to the Board of Works next meeting. And so our turbo went out on, one of the turbos went out on our vac truck this morning, our brand new beautiful vac truck. So it's being hauled to South Bend under warranty, but disappointing. But And I think that's all I got.
Courtney Parthune,
Nothing to report.
legal.
I do have one item, and we can add it to the agenda later between,
Yeah, I think we're gonna hold off on that. I wanna do a presentation on that before we
that's
do
fine.
it. Thanks. so
Okay,
much.
all right. I don't have an item then. Thank you.
Bachelor Code.
Yeah, we started a dumpster program on Tuesday. It went real well. Still remind people, if it's full, just come back. Don't just dump it out there on the ground, because we did have a couple things dumped out on the ground. But just give us a chance to get it dumped, because it takes a couple days sometimes.
Chief Drangmeister.
Oh, nothing at this time, thanks.
Chief Snyder.
Just to announce, we do have our annual pancake breakfast on the 19th, Saturday the 19th, from 8 to 11. $10 a ticket for all you-can-eat pancakes, eggs, sausage. So please come on out to Station 1 on 18th Street and join us
This month.
this month.
Perfect. Roscoe Huffman, IT.
Nothing to report, Your Honor.
Bert Cook. Andrea Smith, HR. Department heads that do not have business in front of the board, go have a great day. New business, request for signature. It's that time of year. The flyover request as the capital of the day for July 4th.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So we have the request for military aerial support. It is a form that has to be filed, and it requires the mayor's signature. We're not committed to anything on this form. We're just saying that the mayor's aware that they're requesting this flyover. That's basically what the form is about.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Can we make the request for what type of plane?
We can try.
SR-71?
Perfect.
All those in favor?
Fly low.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Request for use Earth Day.
So we have a request through our Park Department for their Earth Day 5K Family Fun Run and Walk. They're requesting that on the date of 4/26, which is a Saturday, yeah, it's a Saturday, from approximately 8:30 to 10 o'clock, they would request that Truesdale Avenue between McClung and Holacker be closed.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
The last thing I have is a parking ticket appeal form. So this individual received a parking ticket and appealed it. The reason she was unable to move her car is because the elevator was not working in working order at the Rumley, and she was unable to get down to move her car in a timely manner. So as our practices, we sent it to the police department, and they suggested that the ticket be dismissed because of the circumstances.
Motion to dismiss the ticket.
So moved.
So this, we all know that due to the elevator not being in working order, that several seniors had issues getting up and down, so I would definitely second that. And is there any discussion for the ticket to be dismissed?
No, just, Chief, appreciate your comments on that, so I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Andrea Smith, Health Access Contract.
Good morning, board members. Andrea Smith, HR Director for the City of LaPorte. I am in front of you today to present the Healthy Access Contract and a termination notice from North Shore. We are moving our employee clinic from North Shore to Franciscan Healthy Access. This move will help save the city a large amount of money while keeping the same quality of care for our employees and their dependents. X-rays, blood work, visits are free, and there's a selection of cabinet meds that will also be dispensed for free. We went from department to department yesterday and explained to all the employees, and now we are in a period where if they have any questions, they can come to me and I can try to help them work through any prescriptions that may not be in that cabinet medicine. So I have Nick Napier here from Brown and Brown, our broker, and I have Mr. Tim Ross here from Franciscan, along with Leslie Schroeder. If you'd like to bring them up, I'm sure they would be happy to be here.
Please do. And I would like to say Nick Napier, who has helped us along here, Brown and Brown, they financially work off of a straight base pay versus commissions, which is good. And we appreciated all his hard work as we came to an agreement with Franciscan and excited about the partnership. Nick?
Thanks for your time, Mayor. I'll keep it short and sweet. As Andrea mentioned, we're excited about this change. We think it's going to be a great benefit to the employees moving over to the Franciscan clinic model. It's going to kind of expand their presence, expand their hours, give them a virtual medicine option 6 days a week that gives them additional resources for free care. So I think it's going to be a really nice fit for your employees. Went through those 6 department meetings yesterday, as mentioned. We're going to be available for any and all questions for the next couple weeks, anytime, obviously. And on April 17th, we're going to be here again for about 6 hours during the day, hand-holding and making sure anybody that has concerns or questions, we're continuing to work with them. So I'm going to turn it over to the Franciscan team that's going to be the new partner with the city effective May 1st. So welcome.
Tim, Leslie, welcome.
Thank you all. We look forward to the partnership. You know, we'll be here, just as Nick said, we'll hopefully make this transition as smooth as possible. You know, Leslie will be our point person. She'll be going out to all the departments, as Nick did, and, you know, making sure that everybody understands the transition and how things work for us. There are little differences, but I think it's positive differences versus negative. So, again, we look forward to the partnership. And we say partnership because this is a two-way thing. We really believe that we can help with the health of the employees of LaPorte.
Questions?
It sounds like, in taking a look at the benefits, that you're saying that if there's changes, they tend to be, they're positive changes versus changes that are going to affect someone who's maybe currently on, whether it's a medicine or a treatment regimen. So, everybody's got an opportunity to come forward, right? But have you seen any issues so far in an individual employee being impacted negatively?
Minimal, and that's to be expected.
Okay. And I guess my question is, in that situation, like, how is their coverage handled?
Well, we're flexible. You know, our medical director has already started to take a look at all the meds that were currently being dispensed versus what we have in-house. So we will make exceptions when possible. So, you know, again, it's a case by case. It's really kind of hard to make a broad statement, but we are willing to make adjustments as we go.
But there will be employee participation. So, and that was made clear yesterday as we met, having 100%, you know, covered by the city is just not a format that works in the future. And I think you've got a information brochure for Mr.
Yeah,
Kosher.
so after the meetings yesterday, we've had 2 members that have reached out to us directly, and we're working with them individually. What we did create was a resource packet for members that may be anticipating medical or medicine changes. So we're going to make sure that they have this information and all the resources for getting the medications that may not be offered under the new Franciscan formulary.
Okay, so like,
we've got,
someone's doing well on something, maybe it's not part of the new formulary, that can be an exception, right? As opposed to
they'll have an opportunity to
forcing a change,
continue to
kinda.
get those medications. It may not be through the clinic, but they'll always have coverage through the group health plan for that medication.
All right.
So we do have resources, and we're working with people individually. So if they need to pay for that medication, we're going through every resource to get it for them free. And if it's absolutely not possible to get it for free, we're giving them other resources to get it as cheap as possible, to the lowest cost.
And then just last thing, location. So like, where do employees go?
Great question. So part of that resource packet that we're sharing with everyone has the locations and hours. So just briefly, you've got LaPorte, you've got Michigan City, and Valparaiso is the closest. You've got Hobart and Portage as well. Okay. There's one in Munster and Crown Point. We shared with members during the meetings, if they're down in Lafayette, there's also a Franciscan clinic down in Lafayette that they would have access to. And any other healthy access clinic that opens in the future, your employees would have access to as well. Okay. So we have these. I'll leave one of these for you so that you have this in front of you. And we send out an electronic copy to everyone. And then those that did attend the meetings yesterday had the chance to take this with them. So I'll leave this with you. And then we also have the benefit guide that kind of provides people with the resources to walk them through that. And then we'll be there for them as well.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Some of the clinics are open on Saturdays as well.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So there's hours and locations of all the clinics.
And our one in Michigan City is also open on Sundays. The only difference is that we don't dispense meds at that location, but the visit would be, part of the Healthy Access Program. So, and it's open Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 6. So primary care, or getting a visit on Saturday or Sunday is a huge benefit.
We really believe in what we see with our clients. This will bring continuity of care with provider groups. They have a great reputation of being able to keep providers happy and keep them in their clinics for the most part. So the continuity of care with a particular provider is important, and I think we're going to have and see a really big improvement on that front.
I think I'm not on the city's benefits, I'm a contracted city attorney, but the continuity, I think, is the biggest gripe that we continually hear is, there's not an NP available, and this is a great benefit for employees, but if there's not a provider there, so I would encourage you to keep those places filled with it. I know it's tough. Staffing in your world is just as tough as anywhere else, but was this our third switch in 3 years, or close to it, second or third, so.
I would share working with a hospital system as opposed to like a clinic model. They have a much deeper role
Sure.
of providers and
Yep.
professionals at the end of the day, which I think will be to your guys' benefit.
They also can sync their my charts with the clinic and any providers that they see from Franciscan.
So anyone currently seeing a Franciscan doc, there's going to be connectivity with their clinic and the doctor that they see at Franciscan Hospital. So I think it will kind of connect some dots there for those that are already seeing a Franciscan doctor.
Okay, so bring up, kind of from the provider side, if someone is seeing a non-Franciscan provider, is that,
No, there's no MyChart, but we can ask for, and we work with non-Franciscan physicians all the time.
okay, oh,
As
so
far as-
but there's no issue with them, like, maintaining their
Oh, no, they
relationship?
can
Oh,
stay
okay,
with
that's what I was-
whoever they want.
Okay,
And when we do a referral, like if they come to us, and use the clinic and they need a referral out, it's the employee or spouse dependent's choice where they want to go.
Okay.
If they don't have a choice, then we're going to obviously try to make it as convenient as possible. And, getting in, we have a care coordinator that's going to handle all that. But the first question is if they have a specialist that they want to go to, we recommend that we make the referral to that specialist.
okay, all right, no, it sounds good. I mean, really, because the choice, right, is important for, not maybe everybody, but certainly for a large group of people, so.
Yeah, the member maintains all the choice on where they want to go. They're not going to be pushed into any particular healthcare system. They're just going to have this resource.
Okay.
Motion to
Thank you.
approve?
So moved. Did we not move? Oh. Do we not have a motion? Or
We
oh, okay, so moved.
we do now. Further comments?
No, thank you for going over all that. Really appreciate it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Good to see you all. Craig Phillips.
Did the letter of termination get approved?
If it's all under one, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Morning.
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 It's time of the year for the review and approval of the annual maintenance contracts for 3 of the properties that the city owns. Those are the Plaza, Newport Landing Landscaping Area, and Beechwood Lakes. Not sure what order I put these in your packets, I apologize, but the Plaza would be the first one. So I collected quotes from 2 different companies that we've worked with on various properties in the city over the past several years, those being Lakeshore Landscaping and Millfield Properties for each of these sites. So essentially, in all 3 cases, there's not a lot of difference in terms of cost between each of the proposals, but I think for the purpose of, for the purpose of the Plaza, Millfield Properties is slightly less expensive, plus they're also very familiar with our needs and what we've done in that property over the years. They've done this property for us several times. There's not a lot of changes from last year's contract. Actually, there are 0 changes, I think, in terms of costs. Maybe the hourly rate for additional services went up a little bit on a couple of the labor items. But Mofield Properties on that one is slightly less expensive. And like I said, they've been doing that one for quite some time. They're very familiar with the property. We're pretty happy with the work they've been doing there. So on the Plaza 618 property, I would recommend approval and ask for your approval to move forward with the contract for Mofield Properties. It's roughly $7,000 when you add up all the services. It varies a little bit because some of the services are as needed. So there's not a flat set specific cost in the case of the Plaza. But yeah, my recommendation would be we move forward with Mofield Properties on that one.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
The next one is Newport Boulevard, or the Newport Landing landscape area. Again, two different quotes received. Almost apples to apples in terms of the proposals we received. Very close in price. Mofield was slightly less expensive, but there are some additional kind of as needed, so hence the maybe almost apples to apples type comparison. All that being said, since they're so close in price, I think the proposal from Lakeshore Landscaping is all total $25,000, just over $25,000. That's actually $2,500 less than last year. Reason being, we have developed some of the properties out in Newport Landing, as you're aware. So the amount of landscaping that we're maintaining in terms of mowing the grass fields several times a year has gone down. So the square footage has gone down, so the proposal cost has gone down slightly as a result as well. Even though they're just slightly more expensive, I would still recommend, because of the familiarity with the property and the satisfaction level we've had with the work that they've done over the years, I would recommend we go with Lakeshore Landscaping again for this year for the Newport Landing area.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. So if Beechwood Lakes is at some point ever turned over to a
Yes,
developer?
I was going
would
to
this-
address that. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
please.
Next one is the Beechwood Lakes property. We have two proposals here. The proposal from Mofield Properties is substantially less than the one from Lakeshore Landscaping. Lakeshore Landscaping was $30,000. Mofield Properties was more in the range of roughly $20,000. Again, Mofield is also very familiar with the property, having done this work for us in the past. I'll note that if you look at the termination clause, we can terminate this contract with written notice of 30 days. So in the event that we move forward with the development of that property through agreement with developers, we have the ability to terminate that with written notice. So they're aware of that. They wrote that into their contract, or into the proposal. And I would recommend we move forward with Mofield Properties on the Beechwood Lakes property for this season.
So we do have a motion and a second.
For Newport.
For Newport, can we
I'm
add,
sorry, we did Newport. You did Newport.
can we amend
sorry, okay.
to include Beechwood Lakes?
Yeah, or you could just do a new motion.
Do a new It's a new motion, and it's a different funding source, so I would ask that you do it separately.
Okay, so we do have a current motion for Newport Landing.
Okay.
Further discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do I have a motion for Beechwood Lakes?
So moved to approve.
Second. Discussion.
I had a question on Beechwood Lakes. If it transitions to somebody else owning it, would there be a requirement that they mow or upkeep it? That'd be part of the discussion.
I guess we could work that into the development agreement.
It's not going to be developed overnight, right? So,
But that would be part of this expectation of the city no longer handling the contract,
correct.
is that they would maintain it at our level
There's one.
and expectation.
Well, also if it gets transitioned eventually,
back to
Beechwood Golf Course will become part of that, right? Maybe.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I think we answered
apologize.
I think we answered the question.
Just that, yeah, that the new, or the developer would keep it and maintain it at our expectation of how we've been doing it if that happened.
We can
So,
work with the developer on that.
so we do have a motion for Beechwood Lakes. Further comment? Clerk Treasurer, all good?
Yeah, I just
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
And also, council had, just talking about Newport, a separate issue is the stop sign at 3 locations versus, 4 doing something different. That was brought up, that we do need to address that in some fashion. We do not have funding for a roundabout, but people are asking, and I guess Traffic Commission are going, and I think
Traffic
Chief
Commission
Snyder
is
is.
working with the engineer's office right now to try to come up with a plan. Ultimately, it would be nice for a roundabout, but something in the meantime is what we're looking for.
Didn't there used to be a four-way stop there?
No, it's
It's
only
never
been
been
a
a
two-way.
Oh, but then it became a three-way.
Because
Okay.
of the way that that design was, NDOT would not allow for a
Right,
stop
that's what I
sign
thought.
coming
Okay.
off of, yes, so.
But with funds at the state level, at the federal level right now, $1 million roundabout is not in the works. So, and if we have $1 million to do a roundabout, we have those funds. We need to do other upgrades first. So we'll allow the creativity of our teams to come up with an option
We've got the issue of the drainage there, right, with those
with the
blocks,
pavers.
right, the pavers that,
Jerry Jackson, I think that's, and street fixed, I think, to our satisfaction, the.
Not a perfect solution, but yeah.
And just to mention that the hospital will also be upgrading their crossing there that had the similar situation, so we are addressing them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Drangmeister.
Currently, the department's credit card limit is set at, usage is set at 5,500. There are 3 credit cards issued, one to the chief, one to the assistant chief, and one to the administrative assistant, all together totaling out to $5,500 limit. I'm requesting that a 4th credit card be given to our training coordinator, not only given to him, but also to increase our department limit. There's just 7,500 from 5,500. Reason being is there's times that we have to juggle these credit cards with scheduling training and hotels and stuff. There has been, and it's few, but there has been times we've not been able to take advantage of early bird savings of signing up just because of having to juggle these with that credit card limit.
Concerns? I mean,
Our overall credit limit for the city of LaPorte for our credit card is $67,000. I haven't brought the credit card approval list for the year to the Board of Works yet because I'm still working with WEX on the cards there. So rather than do that twice, I've just kind of been holding off. So we have the opportunity to shift some things around, I'm sure. It'll be okay. We can do $7,500 for the police department. Even if we have to shift it at times for them I have a $5,000 limit and never use my credit card, so even if I take limit away from one card and add it to another for, whatever the need is, we've done that before as well. So our overall credit card limit is $67,000. We can make it work.
but again, for specific situations, not daily use or weekly use or.
Correct, yeah, it's just the total throughout the month's time before the bills are paid. It sometimes accumulates over or up to that, causes us to wait. The 4th card for the training coordinator, Courtney, I believe it was for Patrick Hemphill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
so moved.
Second, discussion.
No, just, really all the, whatever the charges are, whatever the purchases still come back right to the city, to the board for approval. So this is just a way for you to accomplish some of these things, right? Get some savings, right? If you have to do
Yes, sir.
an early bird, pay up front type of thing. So,
Yes,
yeah, that sounds good.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Wellness grant.
Good morning, I'm Caitlin, I'm the social
Good
worker with
morning.
the police department. On March 7th, I submitted a $21,600 grant with the Health Foundation for our officer wellness program. The $21,600 goes towards a partnership with a company called Peak Brain Center, where they do neurofeedback and QEEG treatment for our officers. We currently have 3 that have done the brain map, as we would call it. We have 1 officer who has almost finished the full treatment, and then we have 9 officers on a wait list for this treatment. So the $21,000 will allow us to put 6 officers through that full treatment. We'll be notified of the acceptance by June 15th.
Chief?
I think it's a great program. I personally have seen a positive change in one of these subjects, one of these officers, so I can get behind and attest to what she's telling you about.
Nice job.
Yeah, would you mind sharing just a little bit, like, so what situation would an officer say, hey, I'd like to participate in this treatment program? And then, I mean, obviously we have 6 kind of on the waiting list. I think you said 6.
9.
9, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
But the grant would allow 6 additional officers to go through the program. But can you just tell us a little bit more about what it is, why an officer would need this?
Yeah, so nationally with police departments, especially ones that are developing police social work programs, they're developing officer wellness programs. And so officer wellness programs typically look like having a therapist contracted to a police department, or having a list of therapists who are available who specialize in first responders. Our police department's doing something a little bit different, because in this role I've discovered that it's really difficult to get a police officer to go to therapy. It's like pulling teeth, but I understand it, because for most people going to therapy is like a weird, what do you do? Like, how does that look like? And so what we did was we partnered with 2 people. Both modalities are called brain maps in simple terms, but we started with the neurosequential model of therapeutics that we got a $2,500 grant through Unity Foundation with last year. And so we were able to put 5 officers through that with Robin Miller here in LaPorte County. Neurosequential model, I'll nerd out on it, so I'll leave that be. But this specific grant is for our partnership with Peak Brain Center, and what that is an officer essentially gets hooked up to equipment. They have their brain mapped, so it gives them a layout of what their brain looks like. A doctor from Germany reviews that and then gives suggestions on how to work through that. So the officers that are doing this, they're not ones that are struggling necessarily, like they're our worst officers or this, but actually the officers who've gone through this have the most time with our department. They're people that have experienced life circumstances that have affected them. Something I like to tell people that kind of paints the picture is that a police officer does the very opposite of what our nervous system and our brain was meant to do. So if someone, calls 911 for this terrible event that's occurred, the average person's gonna go the opposite direction, because their nervous system is their fire alarm that says, like, let's exit, let's get away from this. Whereas a police officer is now rerouting the purpose of that to go towards that. So unfortunately, the part of their brain that allows them to do that is the part of their brain that decreases their ability to effectively communicate with their loved ones, to sleep well. They have high blood pressure under the age of 30. So those are things that all of our officers are experiencing. So the officers that have done this and who have done this treatment, like, they've been impacted greatly, and it's important. It really is important for public safety too, having officers who have healthy mental health and wellness. It's not just their brain or their feelings, it's their blood pressure, it's turnover, it's retention, it's keeping our city really, really safe, and giving them an opportunity to understand something that does impact our community too. They understand themselves better, so they understand who they're working with, the community a little bit better too.
And will there be a local match on this, or is this 100%?
It's 100%.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, thank you for going through all that. Really, really impressive to hear some of how it's done and some of the results. And gosh, I really appreciate the opportunity to kind of bring this to the police department. And it's great that it's a grant, so
Yes.
nothing better, right?
This is a Health Foundation of LaPorte grant, and it's not awarded yet? We'll
be notified if we're awarded of it on June 15th.
Okay.
So I do have a motion and a second. Further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, aye.
Motion passes. Thank
Thought
you,
you asked for another
Caitlin.
comment, yeah.
Jerry Jackson.
First item is claim for the quoted electric trucks. That's in the amount of $108,398. $1,000,000,000.70. This would allow the clerk treasurer to cut a check so that when the trucks come in, which they should shortly, we can go pick them up. As far as I can tell, our grant is still good. Did you have any?
I have not heard further, but, so it puts us in a precarious position.
Does.
With this, because we've had an example of one grant already that's been stopped in process. The trucks are going to deliver, and then we would pay,
We would pay the full price up front, and then there's an 80K grant that we would get reimbursed 50%.
and
The goofy thing about this is, we set up for federal, well, for most grants, we set up a different fund, and that, until we're reimbursed, that fund sits at a negative balance because it's a reimbursable grant. That's just how it works. So we have to purchase whatever it is that we're purchasing, and then we turn in the paperwork based on our grant. So, yes, the trucks will be delivered, so
payment is after they deliver.
the payment is after they deliver, but we want to get the check, the sewage department is requesting that we get the check ready, which I'm completely fine with. I just also haven't heard anything on,
So are we paying NERC?
No,
no, we're paying Michigan
The
City
dealer.
Ford.
Okay.
and we get reimbursed.
And then the paperwork is submitted through NERC
Okay, so,
for reimbursement.
and how soon are we reimbursed?
We'll intend to David in my office will help turn around the reimbursement request as soon as we receive proof of payment. We have to submit that along with our reimbursement request. We'll get that done as soon as possible. We've got no indication from NERC that there's any reason not to do this, or that anything's in jeopardy with regard to the federal highway programs.
Can you just confirm with NERC
I've
that they
confirmed
will?
several times.
And
I
they've
just-
said
I
yes?
saw them last week. They just said there's no reason. They can't say yes. I mean, they can say yes, proceed. There's no reason to believe that anything is in jeopardy at this point.
Okay, so we trust you, Mr. Phillips, so.
Well, don't put it on
If-
my shoulders because this is the federal government.
Well, if it's not reimbursed, we'll have to figure it out within the sewage department. I mean, we'll have to.
And that's the concerning part, 100 grand is still 100 grand.
Yeah, well, we'll have two nice trucks and a little less capital budget than I'd hoped, so.
So bottom line is, worst case scenario, if something unforeseeable happens in terms of the grant not coming through, then does the
comes out of my
department have
capital
enough
budget.
You've got enough to
Yes.
absorb it? What
Yes.
kind of worst case scenario?
And you have to spend. And you have to spend it to turn in the reimbursement paperwork. That's just the process, so.
And again, not to be petty here, we've just seen a situation that just happened. So, where a grant has been stopped in the middle with no expectations of anything. So, the truck will be delivered before the money is released.
Correct.
The check will be held by the sewage department until the trucks are delivered, correct?
It's not payment on the spot.
They just can't wait till, if the truck is delivered before the next Board of Works meeting, they want the check in hand, to be able to.
Car dealers are.
Yeah.
You want a check when you do.
So, again, we'll talk and walk through this, but I do have concerns about us having to pay 100 grand.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, it's good to know that there's some room budget-wise. I mean, the trucks are necessary, so,
Yeah, they'll be useful.
but, yeah, appreciate, Mayor, that you'd stay on top of this to make sure that,
Don't put it on my shoulders.
it's gotta be on somebody's shoulders, right?
No, I think
kidding,
absolutely,
yeah.
but this is a concern, and so we'll watch it very closely. Do we have a date of delivery?
In the next week or two.
Okay,
I'll bring them up for the Board of Works and
yes.
show them off.
All right, we do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Next item is pay request number 4 for Hunter's Woods. That's in the amount of $5,557.50. That brings us to 95% of the contract. The only thing left is retainage, which is the amount of $23,602. I'd recommend payment to HRP. I should comment, this is our third project HRP's done for us, and I've been very happy with HRP.
And they did I Street as well.
Yes.
And I thought they were very good at I Street, so,
And half of Monroe Manor, so, yeah.
Where are they based out of, Jerry?
South Bend, I think.
Solid, yeah, somewhere in that area.
Do they have any other contracts that have been awarded yet?
We don't have another contract with them currently.
So while we have Hunter Woods, the road being paid, we have Tucker here, Tim, Warner, just checking because the plant should be open or is open now,
Yes.
or should be open.
What's the question?
What road or is it Park Street?
Yes.
When will that be paved?
So currently Park Street is being used as a detour for Severs Road as Severs Road is closed. Once the Severs Road work is finished, which is scheduled for around May 9th, we will then come back and pave Park Street afterwards when there will no longer be semi-trucks driving over it.
And realistically, it's probably going to be a week after that because we're a week behind on our schedule because we didn't get started last week because of the detour issues out there.
But wasn't this the first project Reeve Riley was gonna do?
No.
We were out there.
Yeah,
remember?
so what they went out there and they dug about 2 foot of the old millings out that you and I both saw out there. And I'm not going to say it's perfect.
It's
definitely
much smoother.
It's
much
definitely
smoother.
passable and better. Yeah.
It'll work as a detour currently until we can pave it properly.
I understand some mess out there, but, you know, when you're running new water main and developing an area like that, it's pretty intensive to that small of an area. And with the roads being so far spread out in there, I understand it's frustrating and it's causing some people in the area to get a little frustrated, but it's progress. You know, we have to tear these roads up to put these water mains in and then fix them when we're done. And to keep the construction traffic off those new roads is important, so they last longer once.
But we're
once
thinking
we're
May
out there.
16th for Park Street.
That whole area should be completed around May 16th. So we'll be done running the water main. The roads will be passable. Is that a Reeve Riley contract or is
No,
that
that's Milestone with our
Milestone,
community
Was that
crossing.
Milestone that,
Yes.
okay.
And on top of that, Milestone is under contract to go out there and, you know, fix that road that's gravel right now a few times a week. So that way we're not getting big potholes on there, then they just get worse and worse. So that they do have to have eyes on it a couple times a week to smooth it out and make sure it stays passable during this project.
Yes.
Further comments? I do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Consulting proposal.
I've got a proposal from McAlpine Consulting. We were looking for a small local firm to do some small stormwater projects. This is to produce construction drawings for, here's a list of the projects: Grandview Street, Lakeview Street, or Lakeside Street, rather, Lakeview Court, Franklin Court, Osborne Street, and 12th Street. 12th Street was part of the letters and numbers on that we didn't finish, and I'd like to get that done. I feel responsible. That street's in terrible shape and the drainage is bad, so I want to finish that.
Which street is that?
12th Street from.
Oh, yes.
From like H over to Andrew. The drainage is bad. It's still combined because our storm sewer couldn't get to it. The area's too low, so this is a follow-up. I'd recommend approval. I think they'll do surveying and construction drawings, and then we'll probably bid maybe a group of them, 2 or 3 of them at a time, depending on the cost estimates, and get them going. We've done some rather big stormwater projects. I'm kind of get excited to attack the little ones that give people headaches, and this it goes in on those kind of little projects.
And is this something that our team, it's more than our team can do, and
It is, because it involves survey and then design, and so, yeah, it's a little bit more than we can do.
do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second that. Discussion?
Just, so this contract is for all of those
Yes.
smaller projects that, okay.
Yep. I think it's pretty cost-effective. It's my first time using McAlpine. I know Nick has got some experience, but I think, well, we should get good results.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And also, for both you and Water, Dean White was here last night at City Council about some of the water backups downtown. If you guys would stop after, we'll talk about the pictures he delivered and also the Vista View along Pine Lake Ave. So just from your perspective, so. Enterprise GIS contract.
Melissa Mischke's here to talk about that, our GIS coordinator.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we have a contract from Marsh that is going to assist us with implementing our enterprise software, which you guys approved not too far in the past. And that's going to allow us to add more departments on to the GIS and help facilitate us towards moving more departments then into that asset management cartograph software as well, and definitely capitalize on that.
So did we not have a meeting a couple years ago about this expanding? Is this the start of it? Whether it was Tim, Tucker, one of you or both of you that were talking, I remember this.
Yep, this is moving this forward. Water and wastewater of the last year and a half have started to develop this system, so we feel it's time to open it up and start to get some other departments involved in it. You know, for instance, the fire department will help them with showing up the fires, knowing where those flow rates are on the hydrants. There's tree management in there, sign management. There's the cartograph system is huge for municipality government, and we've kind of built this system, Melissa and our team, and now it's time to get other departments involved so they can reap the benefits of the program also.
So this will allow you to put in, like for the fire department, this is something we'll use internally, but Marsh is setting up the expansion of the program?
Yes, so they're going to help us set up all of the necessary software to get more people on board at the bottom level. So Jerry's going to have to stop updating sewer things in his AutoCAD drawings. He's going to start doing it
She's gonna have to pull me struggling away.
in mapping software. And then everything that is produced from there is generated off of the GIS data that we're all going to individually, like streets, might have input on the information that we're storing about streets, water is going to have input, and parks, and we're going to add more and more departments on as we go. But we need to get this first, base level set.
But all the departments know, if we go to this, to Jerry's point, we're going to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I think once they see the benefits of it and what it can do, it's a no-brainer. Our team have always thought this way. We've done several presentations on it. I think that's the feeling of the board also. It just, the way you can manage your assets is nice through there. Something as simple as when we go out and do a water cut, we enter that in, it automatically goes to the street department. They know that street cut's ready for asphalt. It gives them an estimate on how much asphalt needs to go in there. You can capture the cost of every job you do. You enter in the guys' wages, cost materials, and you just plug that in and it spits you out a number at the end of what that job cost you. Great way to track what we're doing.
And we'll go around right before and collect pencils and paper, and we'll go to computer program. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, further discussion?
No, just I see that it's all like, the rates are all listed and it's a not to exceed.
It is
so
not to
appreciate
exceed
that
like
piece of it, so,
69,000.
Yeah. 68,915, yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank
Tucker
you.
King, thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, so I'm just requesting to advertise for bids for the 2025 50/50 and 88 sidewalk programs. Pretty simple, just our yearly sidewalk program that we run.
Do you have the listing of those?
I do not have them yet. So for 50/50, we actually go out and solicit people to be a part of that program. And then we help to the amount that our budget allows for. And then the ADA sidewalk program, we have a general idea currently of the ones that we have set, but we don't have them finalized yet with the Indiana Ave project. We needed to figure out how much of Michigan Ave we are going to do as a part of their MOT for their replacement as well. So we're working on that. We should have that by the end of the week and then go out for advertising next week.
So you'll have a complete list on the ADAs before you go to bid?
Yes, 100%, yes.
And then the 50/50s, we have people on that list that have been on a while, right? It's not just new
There,
people.
so I came into this position 2 years ago now. We finished our sidewalk program from 2022 when I came in. And since 2022, we've had quite a few people who have been interested in our 50/50 sidewalk program, yes.
But has done a great job of contacting them, and
I'm-
some
I'm-
have backed out and said,
Yes,
I don't have the money, or,
they're not interested any longer, or some don't even live in the residence that they had applied for initially. So we are working on getting through that backlog, yes.
and do we have money, do we know how much 50/50 we have?
So
our
from
side?
my understanding, we put around $50,000 each year into that budget.
Budgeted in the CDET.
Yeah, it's unseated.
So it would be 50,000 from our side.
Yes, which is $2,000 for a mid-block unit and $4,000 for a corner block unit, so.
Great. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Comments?
So just basically, I mean, the approval for the request to bid will be capped at the 50, right? Obviously, with the budget amount, okay.
And then the ADA sidewalks, there isn't an amount yet, or a capped amount?
So, I mean, the capped amount would be, it's based off of how many people have applied and then how much money we can spread out amongst them. So if we have $50,000, that's roughly 12 corner block units or.
No, I'm sorry,
Oh,
for
sorry.
the ADA.
Oh, for ADA?
Do we know how much we have there?
I mean, we have 50,000, I think it's $50,000 for both, if I remember correctly. And we have much more than $50,000 needed of work in ADA sidewalks. So we're struggling to figure out which ones we need to prioritize at this time, essentially.
And
We have
that's-
4 ADA complaints that we have to address within the next 2 years currently, and then also that MOT project with Michigan Avenue. So we're trying to split the money up equally through those 4 or 5 projects.
And then we have CDBG in addition to that.
Yes.
So that's good. Motion to approve?
We already have one.
You have a
Yeah.
motion. and a
Further
second.
comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next meeting, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 at 9 a.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.